So it's been quite a while that I've been working on a book for the Fells Glen series. I wanted to add more stories, and it's taken me a long time to do that. But I don't want you guys to think I'm not doing anything. So I wanted to take the time today to give you a bit of a sneak peek and show you one of the stories that will be in the book. I really like this one. It's probably not my favorite of all of them, but this one is really good, in my opinion. So this is 911 Emergency Dispatch, a Fells Glen story, by me, Tales of Tim. Maxine Wallstatter sat in her chair, looking in dismay at the bleakness of her office. The walls were an undecorated gray. 4 monitors sat at her desk, each opened to different programs meant to help with her job. The first was basic tracing software, so that she could find where the call was coming from. The second ran a program that allowed her to contact any one of the emergency services in Fells Glen. The third managed the transcribe and audio recording of each phone call. And the last was open to Netflix, something to occupy her time while she waited for the next call. Beside her keyboard and mouse rests a list given to all the emergency dispatchers of Fells Glen, a list of all the strange things that happen in Fells Glen. It was there so that any dispatcher could follow the proper protocol when they got a call about one. Maxine tapped on her desk as she watched Season 1 of In the Abyss of Love for the 5th time. She has always felt that from the 2nd season on, the series had gone downhill. So during her waiting time between calls, she let Season 1 play on repeat. Killing off Pauline was the most heart-wrenching moment of Season 1. When they brought her back in Season 2, it was like the writers were riding on her popularity. They should have let her death be a lesson to the other characters. Maxine could get a little carried away thinking about the best series ever made. She leaned back in her chair. Nothing ever happened on this job. That was a good thing, but it also made her job very boring. Most of the time, she was wondering why they even had this job. Of course, she knew the real reason, and it had nothing to do with helping people in trouble. Maxine was the person that answered the phone that rang without question at exactly 2 in the morning every day. Maxine looked at the clock. It was time. She slipped her headset on and adjusted the microphone. She should keep it on at all times, but in her 2 years at this job, she never got any calls, except the call that was coming in about 10 minutes. She glanced at Netflix. Pauline had stabbed Tommy because she thought he was Shadowfolk. She was wrong, of course. The body under Tommy's house was there to make him look guilty. Maxine didn't want to have to pause it yet, but it was her job. She moved the cursor to the pause button and clicked it as the phone rang. Her finger hovered over the answer button. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings, 4. She tapped the button, took a deep breath, and spoke. 911, what is your emergency? Hello? I've been in an accident, I think. I can't find him. He might be dead. The voice was familiar. Too familiar. It made Maxine's heart skip a beat. Please calm down. I need you to tell me where you are. Maxine started the recording. We were driving, and this girl, she ran out in front of the car. Ben tried to stop, but he couldn't. The car, it swerved. We were going so fast, This voice, it was so familiar. And the boyfriend, Ben. Maxine knew who this was, and her heart broke. She felt her eyes water, and her throat tense up. It was Bethany. Bethany and Ben, 2 people she'd grown up with. Bethany had been her best friend all through school. They'd all been saving up to get themselves out of this terrible city. Ben had been Maxine's biggest crush, until she met Alvin. Ben was also one of the nicest people she'd ever known. They didn't deserve this. No one deserved this. She fought to hide her shaky voice. I need you to tell me where you are. Help is coming. Help wasn't coming. This was the call. The only call that mattered for her job. She had a proper order of things, and she had to follow it, or things would get very bad, very fast. I don't know. Somewhere along Rolfe Turnpike? I am fine. I must have been thrown from the car, but I can't... Please tell me where you are, miss. That was the last time she had to ask that. 3 times, and then on to the next part. What do you mean where I am? I just told you. Besides, I am not important. My boyfriend, he's missing. I just need to find him. Bethany's voice was hysterical, and every word made Maxine wish she wasn't the one doing this job. But she was. Take a deep breath. You need to calm down. Maxine? Is that you, Maxine? Maxine! It's Ben. I think he's dead. He's not moving. We've been in an accident. Maxine already knew Ben was dead, same as how she knew that Bethany was also dead. But that didn't stop her mind and body from screaming to go and help them. They needed her. She could help them. She was inches from getting up when she was able to wrench away from the hysteria that was flooding her body. She took a deep breath. You're going to need to stay on the phone while the paramedics arrive. Do you understand, miss? What do you mean, miss? Maxine, it's me, Bethany. I need you. Not stupid paramedics. I need your help. Ben's hurt, maybe dead. I am also not doing so great. I think my leg, it's broken. Something in the voice of her closest friend rang false. A nagging sense that Bethany cared more about getting Maxine than helping Ben. It made the next part so much easier. How many have you eaten? Maxine almost whispered the words, knowing that she would never see or hear her friend again. 8,504, give or take. The voice on the other end of the line cooed, each one screaming and crying for help. They all tasted a little like ham, but a bit more stringy. If you were to come down, you could have a taste. All pretense had dropped. It was the voice of Bethany, but Bethany wasn't speaking. No thanks. I just ate. Maxine felt sick. The thing on the phone laughed. Liar. You're just sitting there watching Netflix like you do every night. Lonely poor Maxine cares more about her show than her friend. And Maxine hung up. The next call she made was to the sheriff, a courtesy call to let her know that another call came in. Then Maxine clicked play on her show, turned the volume all the way up, curled up in her chair, and cried. And she didn't stop until her shift was up.